Hello everyone, and welcome to a Taridium training video on Microsoft Teams. I'm excited to show you guys how this works. You've probably noticed by now that you have a calls tab on your Microsoft Teams app. If you don't see this, then first try restarting your Teams app to make sure it shows up. And if it doesn't work, then you're going to have to contact Taridium support and have us make sure this gets added to your extension. So what is this going to do for you? It's going to allow you to make and receive phone calls just as if you would a traditional Taridium desk phone. Uh, this dial pad here, you can just enter any phone number that you want, or you can of course click on the dial pad. You could punch in someone's extension number, or you could dial someone's external number and just hit call. Once you hit call, a calls window will show up and you'll be able to interact with that person and end or transfer the call, which we'll get into soon. Down here at the bottom, you've got something that shows a work number. The work number is actually a fake phone number that we use to tie your Teams extension with your Taridium's extension. The only thing that's unique about it is probably the last 3 digits or 4 digits. So this is not a real phone number, but it does represent your extension. In this case, this extension is 222. So the phone number ends in 222, and that's how we connect our system to the Microsoft Teams system. Now let's take a look at some other options here. We've got contacts. You can add contacts here, and you can actually right-click someone and make them a speed dial as well if you want to use this a little bit faster. So I've got a couple here, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like to make a phone call, let's say to Linda. Just click on it, and the call window comes up. We're making a phone call, and now we're on the line. We're just going to hang this one up. We've also got the option to punch in extensions, so I'm going to call the Taridium support line and show you what that sounds like. So once you're in there, we're actually able to pull up the keypad if you have to punch any extensions or if you have to punch an option in someone's auto attendant. So that's what we're going to do now. Just push one, and away we are connecting to the sales team. Just going to hang that call up. Now let's see what an incoming call looks like when someone calls your extension from either another user on Teams or a Taridium desk phone. Maybe they don't have Teams, but they still have a Taridium desk phone, or an external caller that's come in through either your auto attendant or someone has transferred the call to you. So we're going to show you an incoming call. So we've got Linda calling right now, as it shows up here. We could reject this call right here, or we can answer it. And there you go, we're on the phone with Linda. Once we're on the phone, we're actually able to do a number of different things. We could put this caller on hold. So I'm going to show you what that looks like there. The person will get some music on hold while they wait. Um, and once we're ready to resume the call, we just resume it. Now let's have a look at transfers. Transferring is a way to get a call from one place to another. Transferring calls can take place whether it's to another extension in the company. It can happen if you want to transfer the phone to an external number, such as someone else's cell phone. You can actually do that, and the way that we handle transfers is the same. There are two ways to transfer a call. One is simply by pressing the transfer button, and the second way is by using a consultative transfer. The difference between the two is a consultative transfer will give you an opportunity to tell the person in advance before you actually complete the transfer. So we're going to do both transfers so you can see the difference between the two. First, we're going to get an incoming call going. As you can see, the calls are ringing. We're going to take the phone call. and then we're going to hit the transfer button. So the person's put on hold. They get some nice music on hold, and we're going to punch in someone's extension number in this case. But it would be no different if you wanted to put in someone else's phone number. So I could put in 232 because that's the extension I want to transfer it to. You can actually also look up someone in your list of contacts if you've built your list of contacts already, or you can punch in someone's external phone number and you can actually just transfer the call that way. We're going to send this call over to 232 and make sure that they get it. So right now they're transferring. The system is waiting to make sure that this call successfully transfers. Caller picked up and it disappeared. So that means you successfully completed the transfer. Now let's try this again, but we're going to use consultative transfer this time. So I'm going to just get the incoming call going. And here we are, we've got an incoming call. I'm going to hit consult, then transfer. Caller gets put on hold. And let's call extension 232. Select that. I'm going to hit consult. What we're doing is we're calling the person we're transferring to. Now we're on the phone. The person that originally called, they're still on hold. They're waiting for us to decide what to do here. So we could actually leave, where you could go back to the original caller, or let's complete the transfer. And now the two parties are on the phone with each other. So we're going to cover voicemail real quick. Voicemail works a lot of the same that you're probably already used to if you already have a Taridium extension. If you're new to Taridium, Taridium provides voicemail over email attachment, and that is the #1 way that people receive voicemails on our system. If you're going to use Microsoft Teams exclusively, then there are additional options for you. But the easiest one is just to simply use the Taridium voicemail. It's mature, it works really well, and you can just get your voicemails by email. Once you can listen to it through your mobile app or whichever method you're checking your emails on, your computer, Outlook, and whatnot. But in order to use the voicemail, you are going to at least have to set a greeting. To do that, it's a familiar star code. Just dial *98. Once you're in there, that's going to get you into the Taridium voicemail. We're just actually calling it right now. Once you're inside, you get a number of options, and you just have to use your keypad in order to hit the options there. 0 for mailbox options is what you do in order to set your greetings, and then just follow the prompts that are inside. The system will handle your voicemails without you having to interact with Teams very much, and that's the easiest way to do it. The alternative is to use Microsoft Teams voicemail exclusively. Now, if you're going to do that, voicemails will show up in the Teams app and you can listen to them in the app, but they will not come to your email account. So that is a significant difference. It does have transcription, but Taridium has transcription as well. If you're going to use voicemail on Teams, then you need to let us know through our support team. You can email us at support@taridium.com in order to disable the Taridium voicemail and enable the Teams one. By default, the Taridium voicemail is used, but if you want to switch over to the Teams voicemail, you can do that. You just don't want to have two voicemail systems competing for the call that heads to voicemail. So just let us know if you want to use the Microsoft Teams voicemail instead, and we can take it from there. Let's have a look at call forwarding. Microsoft Teams does its own call forwarding, but so does Taridium. So that's where we have some competing or overlapping options. Taridium voicemail through the portal, you're able to set call forwarding, change your voicemail options and whatnot. And we actually also have a follow me feature as well in the Taridium portal. But obviously the easiest thing to do is to just turn on call forwarding from Teams. So I'm going to show you that now. Just go up into our settings, and we're going to go down to calls, and you're going to see call answering rules. Right now it's set to calls ring me, but perhaps we want to forward our calls. So we're going to put someone in that we want to forward the calls to. In this case, let's go with 232. And voila, calls are being forwarded to Luke at 232. Another way you can do this is punch in a cell phone number. So we're going to put in a cell phone number. So maybe we want to forward our Teams calls to our cell phone. Let's go back and let's just turn the call forwarding off. There is another way to turn call forwards on if you don't answer. So what are we going to do here? We want to call, let's say, a new number of contact. We'll use extension 232. So in this case, calls are going to ring me, but if I don't pick up, then calls are going to go off to Luke at extension 232. So that's another way you can handle call forwarding. You can just turn them on always, or you can also turn them on if you are not picking up. Now, if you do this, there is a voicemail that that may be at play here. So right now in this case, we're ringing for 20 seconds before redirecting, but a typical Taridium voicemail times out after 25 seconds. So that wouldn't ring Luke for very long before the call actually just kicked over to voicemail. So you may want to either lower this or increase your Taridium voicemail timeouts, and you can do that through the Taridium voicemail portal. Let's just turn this off, and then we can move on to the next slide. Let's give conference calling a try. Conference calls allow you to make phone calls to multiple parties and talk to each other all at once. So let's make a conference call happen. Let's make a phone call to our first party. Let's call, let's say, extension 261. We're just going to get that call up and running. Okay, so that phone call is in progress. And let's see what our options are. Now, let's get someone else added to this call. We could put in an external number here, like that. Or in this case, I'm just going to add extension 232 to this call. And let's create this invite. So what that's doing is that's phoning the second person. Now they're on the phone, and all three of us are talking. And you could keep doing this by inviting more people if you liked. It also actually, while you're on a call, it keeps track of who's speaking. That's kind of handy. Obviously, no one could raise their hand, but hey, it's not bad. Now, if we want to turn this off, we can just leave, and the other two would still be on the phone, or we can end the meeting, and that's going to end the phone call for everybody. This concludes the Taridium and Teams integration training. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful. If there's any questions that you have, please reach out to our support team. You can reach us by sending us an email at support@taridium.com, and the support team will be happy to address any issues that you may have or questions that you may have related to your Teams client or to the Taridium system. That's all for today. Bye for now.